Welcome back, guys. In this video tutorial we'll be talking about the mode of action of cholera toxin. We all know what cholera actually does. It actually results in the watery diarrhea, right? So it allows our intestinal cell to lose water in higher amounts as well as electrolytes in higher amounts. So it converts the membrane osmolarity. As a result of that, our intestinal cell will release more water as well as electrolytes like chloride onto the intestinal lumen. As a result of that, we lose water and our cell is getting dehydrated, right? So the process of cholera mediated toxin effect is very basic like this picture. So Vibrio cholerae is secreting the toxin. It is again an exotoxin made up with subunit A and B. It is another also it is a type of enterotoxin. I remind you, I've already talked before that the type of toxin can be neurotoxin, cytotoxin, or enterotoxin. Now the example of such enterotoxin is this cholera toxin because it is acting on the enteric cells. So this toxin is having two subunits. One is A, another type is B, but it is having five such B subunits together and two such A parts linked with each other via disulfide linkages. So first what it does actually, it will attach to the membrane via B subunit, then helps the A subunit to enter inside the cell. If B subunit never enters inside because the large B subunit is only responsible for the binding of this toxin to the cholera toxin receptor. Here it is the GM1 or glycoprotein receptor is present. Then after the entrance of the A subunit, it actually converts it actually converts the cell signaling procedure inside and the cell signaling using the G protein. Now the G protein can be cleaved here. After that, it increases the cyclic AMP concentration. Then it allows the release of water and sodium ion outside as well as the chloride ions. So let's look at it in the big picture here. So what we can see here, this is the toxin having five different B subunits, and then two A1 and A2 are linked with each other. We call it altogether an A subunit. Now B is helping then attachment, then A is released inside. Once A is released inside, A is just cleaved into two separate units, A1 and A2. Now among them, A1 is responsible for the maximum dangerous activities. So A1 will go and it will increase the concentration of cyclic AMP inside our intestinal cells. So as the concentration of cyclic AMP increases inside our intestinal cells, as a result, it allows massive loss of water as well as ions like sodium, chlorine, potassium, bicarbonate. So release of all the different ions as well as water is going on. So cell is kind of losing everything which is required for its growth and development. So as a result of that, if it is not treated immediately, if the toxin is not released immediately, it finally can kill the individual in hours. So that's a very dangerous thing. And actually, we have seen cholera taking lives many regions because it acts as a pandemic once or twice during the history, right? So that can be done using this kind of process and techniques. And I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Cholera is an intestinal infection caused by a bacteria found in dirty water, in contaminated food, or in vegetables that have been irrigated with contaminated water. If you do not have access to potable water, it is necessary to treat the water to avoid infection. If you do not have access to safe drinking water, and the water is turbid, you will need to filter it. Use a clean cloth as a sieve to strain the water. Let it stand until any residue settles to the bottom of the container. Next, boil the filtered water for a minimum of 5 minutes, allowing it to cool down in an airtight container before drinking. If you cannot boil the filtered water, a simple and economical way to treat it is by adding 6 drops of bleach or chlorine per 4 liters of water. Mix vigorously and then let it stand for 30 minutes in a clean, airtight container before using it. You can also use Aquatab pills with 1 tablet of 33 milligrams per 1 gallon of water, allowing the solution to rest a half hour before use. Thoroughly disinfect the drums, tanks, or containers that will store water and keep them sealed. Wash your hands with soap after using the toilet, before preparing food, and also before eating. At the slightest sign of diarrhea or vomiting, go immediately to the nearest medical facility and consult with medical personnel.
a pris un vaccin avec 4 ans d'envers. Pour présenter que tu prends vaccin. Avancez, vite pour vaccin. Nous la couche à l'estime, vite pour vaccin. C'est tout le monde qui change status. Nous combattons contre le choléra. Moun qui enceinte pas qu'à prendre. Pas inquiétons, si nous pas tout petit monde de 1 an à 9 ans, si moun 1 an à 9 ans, on a retourné pour eux. À partir de mois mai, nous avons commencé avec tout le monde, mais à partir de là, je dis, c'est tout le monde qui a 10 ans, qui vient dans grand monde.